Outside Gillette Stadium, everybody. My name is Mike Petraglia. A big day of injury news here inside or outside Gillette Stadium as the Patriots get back to working and preparing for the Carolina Panthers this Friday down in Charlotte. The biggest story of the day, probably in terms of injury news, is Sebastian Vollmer. The left tackle for the Patriots is dealing with some type of hip-related issue. Not his shoulder, but his hip. That is according to several reports, including the Herald's Karen Garigian, reporting that it is a hip injury for Sebastian Vollmer. He is expected to start the season on injured reserve, and that is a blow for the Patriots offensive line, especially on the perimeter, where they had issues last year at the tackle position with both Vollmer and, of course, Nate Solder going down for long stretches of time. It'll be interesting to see how Marcus Cannon can pick up. Now, the Boston Globe's Jim McBride reporting on on an interior lineman, that being Shaq Mason, an offensive guard, being out now with a broken hand. We'll have to see just how long the Patriots will be without probably one of their more reliable interior linemen from last year. The rookie out of Georgia Tech proved to be a very valuable and consistent run blocker. He showed very well against the New Orleans Saints in the first preseason game, springing one of the players who sprung a nice block for James White's 50-yard reception down the right sideline, right in front of the Patriots bench. So Shaq Mason is dealing with a broken hand, according to the Globe's Jim McBride. Jim McBride also reporting that Dion Lewis, the running back, has run into another tough break in terms of dealing with injuries. He is facing another surgery on his left knee, not on his ACL, according to Tom Curran of CSN. But rather just a cleanup procedure. Still expected to miss another 6 to 8 weeks as Dion Lewis will be unavailable to the Patriots. What does this mean? Well, naturally, you would think it means more reps for the likes of James White and LeGarrette Blount and possibly Brandon Bolden and Tyler Gaffney. Tyler Gaffney and certainly Brandon Bolden and LeGarrette Blount all figure to make this roster, as do James White now with the injury to Dion Lewis. He is out 6 to 8 weeks at the very least as he faces a second surgery to clean up his left knee. Of course, he tore that ACL last November 8th playing here at Gillette against the Washington Redskins. The other big news of the day, no Tom Brady seen in the locker room. There's good reason for that, as Tommy Curran reports that Tom Brady has been excused for today, Sunday, and tomorrow, Monday, from any Patriot-related activities, practices, meetings, whatever. Now, the interesting part of this report is the fact that it has nothing to do with his reported thumb injury from Thursday night. This is a non-injury-related issue, not dealing with the sliced open thumb that was reported by Tommy Curran on Thursday night just before the Bears game. So Tom Brady not expected to be in and around the Patriots building over the next 2 games. Obviously, that's a story that bears very close monitoring, and will do so on WEEI and WEEI.com. As far as the news inside the building on this Sunday afternoon, Nate Ebner spoke for the first time since returning from the Rio games, where he scored a couple of 5-point tries in competition for Team USA in Rio. That team finished 9th. First words out of Nate Ebner's mouth was to give thanks and be very grateful to the Patriots teammates and coaches who supported him. Of course, during joint practices against the Saints, there was that one day where the entire team, where the entire coaching staff, I should say, wore number 12 jerseys honoring Ebner's jersey that he wore down in Rio. In terms of his timetable for returning, that's still not very clear, though Ebner was in full pads and full uniform for Thursday night's Bears game. He did not get onto the field and compete. Ebner says that he's taking it day by day in terms of getting back into football shape. That is something Bill Belichick echoed also a couple of weeks ago when Ebner finished up his play down in Rio. He said it's one thing to play rugby, and it's another to run around the track. It's another to get into football shape and get used to the speed of an NFL game, and that's what Ebner is doing right now. He was also asked whether or not he might be looking forward to 2020 when the Olympic Games are in Tokyo. He said, I have no idea whether or not I'm even going to try and compete for Team USA Rugby at that time. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but right now my job is to get ready for the Patriots season. So that's the latest here from Gillette Stadium as the Patriots get back to work, mostly team meetings. The practices in earnest begin on Monday. Patriots will have practices on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, a travel day on Thursday, then preseason game number 3, the so-called most important dress rehearsal of the preseason, Friday night in Charlotte against Cam Newton and the defending NFC champion Carolina Panthers. All the action is on WEEI and WEEI.com, the It Is What It Is blog. Follow Christopher Price, Ryan Hannibal, and yours truly, Mike Petraglia. Outside Gillette Stadium, I'm Mike Petraglia, WEEI.com.